In today's business environment, which is undergoing sudden and drastic changes, it is essential for the manufacturing industry to constantly develop flexible and effective strategies based on the knowledge and research capabilities they have cultivated. This time, I have summarized the efforts related to the top-down plus bottom-up development method, systematic management of comprehensive productivity improvement measures, which have been systematically promoted by the people involved in this type of response by Mr. Shigeru Nakamura. From now, I would like to present the outline of this book to you. Life is important, both for corporate activities and for the individuals who work for them. Japanese industrialists have believed that it is important to use this diagram as a reference in order to make that life worthwhile. People who work at companies have dreams and want to improve their corporate life. To do this, the top management of each company presents ideal goals to employees, and important people take the lead in formulating medium-term management plans to set specific goals. Clarify. This medium-term management plan cannot be achieved all at once. Therefore, everyone in the company makes full use of wisdom and sets goals in stages. Each company determines this as its annual budget. A diagram of this image would look like this figure. Companies refer to the left-hand side as a step-by-step approach and the right-hand side as a spiral-up approach. These details are described in this book wrote by Mr. Nakamura. This book presents many famous examples of advanced companies in the form of theory and practice. Earlier, I explained the importance of presenting ideal targets for the future to employees in the medium-term management plan. However, when such measures are inadequate, there are many cases where corporate activities are as shown on the left side of this figure. Moreover, there were many examples of these types of companies. Even if they were currently prospering, they continued to be in the red and eventually went bankrupt. When you will catch such a situation, I would recommend that you formulate a medium-term management plan in your company, further strengthen your company's strengths, and anticipate the new needs of customers around the world. It's an effort to go is very important for you. I think. This is just only a general talking. But the important point here is that you choose a good theory, choose a good action, and get good results together with everyone in the company. At this time, I think that the activities of Jukin Kogyo Company, Limited shown on the right side of this figure will be helpful. Although the company is a small company, it has and is increasing contacts with many leading companies in the world. The underlying measure was to set a medium-term management plan for everyone in this company to realize the production of 1/1 million gram plastic gears, which no one else in the world had been able to produce. It was in the realization, challenge, of the production technology that was realized. By all accounts, this company's gear is not a product for sale. However, the company's development was based on the measures that realized the effort to show the industrial world the production technology that made it possible to create such ultra-small products. In addition, there are several examples of initiatives similar to this in the book, so I think it will be helpful for you. As everyone knows, if the manufacturing industry cannot produce products that satisfy customer requirements, it will not only have no value in existence, but it will also be impossible to secure sales itself. For this issue, in addition to the high level of manufacturing in the manufacturing industry, as advocated by the quality management system called ISO 9004, it is necessary to take management measures to maintain and manage the level of manufacturing management. This figure is an example of an ISO international organization presenting the situation in the form of guidelines for the development of factories. Earlier, I explained that ISO 9004 has provided guidelines for quality control and assurance in the QMS aspect, as well as guidelines for further quality improvement. See this diagram. This figure is the content of this document that guides the level assessment of all such elements. As you all already know well, the manufacturing industry is based on the 5 elements of production: people, methods, measurement, equipment, and material. And material includes design. Without me explaining, Any company will work while taking measures to these elements. Moreover, in order to skillfully bring out the characteristics of these elements, companies have made efforts to raise the level of technology utilization by making full use of the three aspects of manufacturing technology, production technology, and management technology. In addition, any manufacturing company will face many problems in terms of international competitiveness if these factors are not at a level above them. Earlier, I introduced Jukin Kogyo Company Limited's 1/10 million gram initiative, and this company's initiative was an example of this type of countermeasure. In order to make the factory the best manufacturing in the world, it is extremely important for the top management of the factory to formulate strategies, create a medium-term management plan, and take measures to lead all employees to a bright and happy future. In response to such measures, Mr. Nakamura and other people involved in TP-management told companies involved in JMA the necessity of visualization measures necessary to achieve the medium-term management plan with full participation, as shown in the figure. This figure shows like this meaning. The main point shown by this figure is the caution that even if one person makes a good plan, it cannot be realized without enthusiastic action based on the understanding and consent of all employees. At the same time, companies must correctly communicate what top management has planned to employees who are engaged in work and improvement. Therefore, companies use such visualization measures to gain all employees a correct understanding of initiatives for future development, and then hope for their active participation. For this purpose, using the structure of such a diagram, we have written requirements that indicate to employees what the company is aiming for. If you look at this chart, you should understand that this measure is a measure that integrates top-down plus bottom-up efforts to achieve the medium-term management plan that will realize a bright future. I think. Here, after taking measures such as using the contents described in the book, I would like your company to make concrete the goals that you set as an ideal factory for the future. And, at this time, I will assume that you have made the necessary detailed considerations. After this measure, your company will create a management budget for the current term in order to achieve the future plan and promote the achievement of the target with the participation of all employees. Then, at that time, I would like to introduce an overview of the TP development diagram that allows everyone to know the details and results of everyone's activities on a daily basis with the big one paper. Please look at the right side of the illustration. This figure is the TP deployment diagram. First, write the budget for this term as comprehensive goals in the rectangle at the top right corner of the triangle. Next, each department will proceed with the deployment of comprehensive goals. Comprehensive goals determined top-down with the goals of each department will be adjusted up and down several times in the company. In this way, when your company uses the TP development diagram, it will take measures to fully achieve various goals with increased feasibility in each department, in the form of a countermeasure method guide. By next step, you will provide the most efficient and reliable problem-solving method for achieving the goals that each department has. In a company, measures to be implemented are placed on a matrix that defines this countermeasure method guide on the vertical axis and each department and its goals for improvement on the horizontal axis. Many projects are registered for each measure placed in the matrix. In addition, your company decides the content of countermeasures with the most suitable members and entrusts implementation to each project team. As a result, your company summarizes the result of the many projects implemented at all factories at the bottom of the inverted triangle in the diagram, that is, the actual results. By using a diagram like this, your company will be able to follow up on the achievement of the top most comprehensive goals using a management loop called Plan Do Check. In the general manufacturing industry, when working on improvements, it is often the case that subordinates receive top-down orders using the factory organization shown in the upper left triangle in this figure, and their subordinates make efforts to achieve their goals according to those orders, has used a top-down centric approach to achieving goals. In addition, here, as I show on the right side of the figure, for measures that are difficult to solve, Special indirect departments, such as the Quality Control Department for quality issues, accounting for cost measures, and production control for delivery measures. It was common to solve problems in a matrix organization, with the organization such as departments on the vertical axis and each department of the manufacturing department on the horizontal axis. However, this method had the following problems. For example, if there is a problem with quality, cost, or delivery due to a problem with a certain facility, each specialized indirect department will request independent analysis and data from the source of the problem. At the same time, since each department requested countermeasures, the site where the problem originated was busy dealing with it. However, in this case, it is enough for experts to focus on the equipment failure and proceed with the optimal countermeasures. Also, by doing so, it is possible to integrate requests for materials and examination contents requested from each department. Please see this illustration. In response to such problems, TP management has promoted integration as shown in the figure. As introduced earlier, when a problem with quality, cost, or delivery occurs due to a defect in a certain facility, specialists are selected from each department and applied for countermeasures against the cause. For that reason, all you have to do is report the results. This kind of problem occurs a lot when target deploying comprehensive goals for this term to each department. Therefore, in TP management, formulas are also integrated in the form above, and when removing the cause of the problem, we proceed with the most effective form for all factories. One more thing, I would like to introduce the significance of visualization, using the TP deployment diagram to promote improvements at all factories with the participation of all employees. This figure shows an image of the TP deployment diagram in the center, and one improvement project is shown in the round mark. What I want to show in this figure is that the success of one measure can be understood from 4 perspectives outside the rectangle: factory innovation, development of goals policies, equals top-down, pursuing customer-oriented management. You can see the significance and contribution of increasing profits, activities that go beyond the walls of an organization and management. Factory improvements based on medium-term management plans and management budgets are extremely effective means of realizing the ideals of the future manufacturing industry. In particular, we have received high praise from the industrial world that the top-down plus bottom-up method introduced so far and the measures that are being visualized and promoted are extremely effective. For this reason, many similar methods, such as the balanced scorecard, have since been introduced and used in industry. Mr. Nakamura and the people who developed TP management think that any method can be applied to your company if that kind of method matches the individuality and characteristics of each company. In this sense, the people who developed this TP management analyzed the characteristics of this kind of management method, and then sorted out the characteristics along with patterning. This kind of content is described in the book. However, as shown in the figure, there were cases where it was necessary to address the problems that factory practitioners had in their actual work. Countermeasures against such problems have been considered by JMA, who were promoting small group activities that were once popular in Japan, apart from those who are promoting the development and spread of TP management. The main point of these people's countermeasures was that they wanted to reflect the content of the consideration of the problems on the ground by the people involved in the field in the management measures. In addition, a request for this countermeasure was sent to Mr. Nakamura, who is active in JMA, so Mr. Nakamura established a team management study group separate from TP management. In this study group, as a result of researching countermeasures for problems that were not visible at the manufacturing site and were not included in management budget issues, countermeasures were materialized using PMS charts as shown in the figure. In this commentary, I would like everyone to read the analysis procedure of this figure in a book, but the conclusion is to put the results of analyzing the problems in the field into the idea bank. After that, they established a new method of visualizing PMS charts by evaluating the ease of implementation, economic efficiency, and importance to management. Fortunately, The PMS diagram became a TP development diagram when turned upside down. Therefore, in the form of a measure to add this kind of analysis content to the budget, we finally materialized a method for additionally incorporating it into the TP deployment diagram. This time, I introduced visualization measures through top-down plus bottom-up activities. The content introduced here has already been introduced and used in the world and is being actively used. Readers who have seen this illustration and commentary will understand that this kind of management does not waste the effort of each individual's activities, and that problem solving by people who are unique in problem solving enhances the ability of each individual. Furthermore, I believe that everyone who has watched this commentary and the video will understand that the result of working on improvements will be useful in each department and increase the joy of improvement. Thank you for spending your precious time to watch this YouTube video. You can search this book with a QR code on the right of this figure. The technology of management is an invisible subject. However, if it is visualized and used, it is a technical knowledge that makes a big difference between companies. I hope that the reader will find this introduction useful.